Praise the Most High. Praise Yeshua. Praise Jesus. Praise the King. So, yeah, mind blown. Mind blown. You know what I'm saying? This mustache is getting kind of snazzy. I can't hold you. I can't hold you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be funny, but this bad boy getting kind of. I'm over here looking like a Spaniard. You feel me? But nah, on the real note, I don't know, man. Stuff is getting real wild, and I don't know what. I haven't been paying attention to what Trump's been doing, or really, I mean, anything that our government or higher ups have been doing. I ain't been paying attention to none of that because, I mean, it to me it doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter, like legit, because it seems like Trump is just kind of here for the moment, and nothing is really going to happen until he gets out of office. That's when we're really gonna see like what the movement is going to be. Is when he gets out of office, and I think that's when like everybody needs to like really be paying attention. Is when he gets out of office, because if you look at right now, if you like right now, if you look at what's going on with not just even the military, my phone would be dying right now. But if you're paying attention to what's going on with the military, how spread out we are, we're super spread out, like all the way. And we're on, I think, like 5 different fronts. I just like kind of looked into like I just looked at the Iran stuff, see if that was real, because I ain't been paying attention, but and this is another thing. What if that's fake? What if it's AI? Like, because we're so advanced right now with AI, like it could be just a really good AI, and we're thinking that we're actually at war with Iran, and we're not at war with Iran. And I mean, I don't know any Iranians because they would know. Like I've noticed that with foreigners, like anybody that's not from here, if they're from another country, they watch their news. I don't know how they be having their stuff hooked up, but there's this resident at my job, and she's from Georgia. She's got this little square box, maybe like 4 inches by 4 inches, and it has like a antenna inside of it, and it has a HDMI cord that she plugs in and a power cord, and all it is a freaking antenna that goes all the way to Ukraine and over there. So she doesn't watch none of our news, none of that. She watches everything over there in Ukraine and all of that. And I asked her, like, what are they talking about? And then her English is real broken, but she be saying like the the war, like how the war is. They're saying it's bad. They say the war is bad, but she was explaining that Putin wants uh I forgot where it was, but she said where it was. But there's a spot in Ukraine that Putin wants, and he's gonna like fight to that point, and then it gotta be done. but he wants up to that point. And I don't know if that's just to expand Russia, or they have some kind of something that he wants in the ground, or something. But yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of weird, tricky stuff. And then, I mean, if I knew a person that was Iranian, I would ask him, like, what what are they talking about over there? Like, is y'all president or whatever he is he really, you know, is he really doing that? Because we have, with Biden having the dang border open, we have so many people that are just sleeper cells, and all of them people, the Iranians, the Iraqs, all anything over there, are very, very hostile. All of them. Now, I'm not saying all the people, but they're sleeper cells, and the people that do put in that work, people are very, very violent, and they're not. They don't necessarily care. Like, they don't care about losing their life, you know, but they also believe different things and think different. Uh, and we're at five fronts. We can't be in this many places and expect to be holding the line for any one, because yeah, we have bases and stuff like all over the world, but if you have 5,000 troops here and 5,000 troops 1,000 miles away, that's not good. Like, that's just them there at the moment. And then say the U.S. gets boycotted and gets thrown out of everywhere. Would we even be able to retreat? Like, because I guess I'd call her my aunt Beck. She was my when I lived in Alaska. She was my roommate, and she was in the army, and she was overseas in Germany and somewhere else. And she was like, her platoon, or just the group of everybody that she was with, was like 1,000 people. So you're in Germany with 1,000 other soldiers. If for any reason you guys had to flee because everybody turned on you, and I don't mean like the people, I mean the government that you are residing in. Like, I don't even know if that's happened. That's had to have happened somewhere, and it was just like a massacre that was just never talked about. But if you have a group of soldiers in a bunker or whatever the case is, and that government that our soldiers were stationed at turned on them, would we even be able to retreat and not be shot down or killed? Like, that had to happen somewhere. So we have all these different fronts. So Taiwan, Ukraine, Israel, shit. Here, um, I know we got another one. I know we got like five fronts right now. I don't feel that we have the capacity to even attempt to defend. And even with having Yeah, I'm not. I've never been in the military or anything like that. I'm just a random guy talking with a fancy mustache. You feel me? But I don't think that we have the capability to be able to defend one of these. Maybe if we had all of our people in one location, yes. If all of our soldiers were in one location, yes, we probably could. Going off the American name, and we have, you know, the best technology and all this other stuff and all that. I'll tell you that balloon with China really showed the world, and China knew it, and only certain people knew it. Once that balloon got in the air, we couldn't do nothing with it. We couldn't do nothing with it. And how big the damn balloon was, like the balloon was how, what did they say, it was like 3 buses or something like that, and we couldn't shoot it down. So there's scenarios. They said that we didn't shoot it down because the stuff would fall and could potentially hit people. That thing flew over the ocean. That thing flew over Alaska. It flew over the whole United States. So if this balloon flew over Alaska, that Alaska is mostly wilderness, and it flew over Canada, which is basically the same thing, and the ocean. You guys didn't shoot it down. Why? Because you couldn't. There's this guy that used to do those balloons. He would make these hot air balloons, and he said that by the time that we see it like lifting up, no, I'm just around. I'm talking about the Chinese balloon and how America might not be, you know, as much as we think we are, because that balloon showed me a lot. And why didn't they blow up the balloon? But the guy was talking about once the balloon starts going in the air and we see the balloon, if we don't shoot it right then, we're not going to be able to shoot it because it goes up so fast. That balloon traveled all over the United States, and we didn't shoot it down because we can't. And then they were scared to shoot it because they didn't know what kind of payload it had. So it's a balloon. The balloon could have had right, but the balloon could have had anything in it. It truly could have. I believe it was a spy balloon, but we still couldn't do nothing with it. They had a spy balloon, like just like looking at us, like, and we couldn't do nothing with it. That's that's terrifying. Like we ain't got no laser that could like magnify it, like how we do. We used to do ants when we were kids with magnifying glass. We ain't got nothing like that. We can't nuke it or shoot it with a big missile because we did that. That's going above us and could mess up our power and all that. So that's out. A jet can't go that high. Well, even if a jet did go that high, it's a balloon. So even if you shoot it, it's the bullets are just gonna poke holes in it. It's not gonna do anything. And then the rockets, the dude broke everything down. The rockets are just gonna like not. It's not gonna have enough propellant to make it to the balloon. So yeah, you shoot it. It's not gonna do anything. The rocket isn't gonna make it because I guess the rockets don't really have that much propellant that like burns, which I didn't know that. But more you know what I mean. I noticed too with silver and gold. And I don't know if that's what it was. Why silver and gold went down was because of the Iran thing. Because gold went down 200, I think 200 like $60 or something like that since yesterday. And then silver went down like $9. because silver was at like 80, like I think like 81 something yesterday, and now it was at 72, like 72 something when I looked at it, or like 71 like 80, and that's a big decrease in just a day. I mean, granted the I forgot the name, but the up and downs have been so like dramatic. The last, I'd say the last year for sure has been crazy. Like I was talking to a guy that was buying silver, and we talk about like the collapse and things like that. And when he first bought silver, his his first ounce of silver was I think $3, and then he bought a little bit. Then he waited, bought some more when silver was like $7. And then he asked me, because this is during the conversation me and him was having. He asked me when I started buying silver, what was the price, and I said like $21. And he was like, "Man, that's crazy." I don't know how much silver he has. Like I don't. I know I got like a pound. I got like a pound of silver. That's it. I don't have anything else. But I mean, I got rings and like stuff. I got a little bit of gold, but yeah, I can't stack no no ounces. That's man. That's 4,500, man. An ounce of gold. That is crazy. And then it just drops 200. I wonder if that was because Iran and that stuff. But we're not gonna see nothing until Trump gets out of office and then somebody else gets in. I feel like, and this is just me talking. YouTube, don't flag me. Don't cut my live. Don't do that. I get flagged a lot, and that's why I don't have traffic anymore. I feel like they're gonna bring in somebody from the left. I feel like it is gonna be the the other Obama. I don't. Yeah, that's a dude. That's a dude. As Michael, but I feel like they're gonna have them be president, which Obama would need to be. He would need to go to jail for treason. He would have to, and that whole collapse that needs to start before Trump gets out, because if not, once they get back into power, it's going to be a wrap for America. And if you look at what's going on right now already in Trump's in his presidency, we're spread out all these different places, and then the ammo is going to slowly not be sold to civilians. People aren't talking about this because people don't be knowing, but it's AAC. They're no longer selling to civilians. All their ammo is going to Ukraine and Israel. Why are you guys sending? I forgot the number of rounds, but it is a crazy amount. It's like, uh, I think 500 million rounds. That is a lot of rounds. Like, what are you doing? I can't even fathom 500 million rounds. Like, that's a lot. Man, that is a lot. That's like from here to Seattle. That's something different. But if this one gun company is not selling to civilians to fund the army, when are the other gun companies going to stop selling to civilians? And I've been telling people to stack up on ammo. People don't people don't hear me, and I mean I've stopped buying ammo because I have other obligations and other things that I'm trying to do. And I mean I feel comfortable where I'm at now. That's you know that's kind of where it's at. I'm not tripping, but for the other people, for the average person, people need to really start thinking about it because if this is what got me a long time ago because I used to live in Oregon and then the 114 law was like trying to go into effect. If I couldn't if I couldn't go to the store and buy guns or ammo, where would I be? At that point, I had a Glock 30 and yeah, I had my Glock 30. That was it. I had a 45. Right. I understand that. I understand that. But but they're saying that they're running out of components for the bullet or for the ammunition. So, if you're running out of the components, why why are you just going to make for the military? They're not supposed to do that at all. Like no that's the concerning part because people don't know this. When they make ammo, there's a huge chunk. Like I think the number is like 80%. Uh, it's like 80% goes to the military, and then the rest comes to us. So if we don't get that 20%, we don't get that 20%. That's what stocks all the stores. That's what stocks everything. So again, if you can't go to the store and you can't buy bullets, you're gonna be in trouble. Like, and then the average person doesn't shoot. They don't shoot their guns. They don't train. They don't do any of these things. And then what's gonna happen? Like they talk about all the immigrants and all this. I'm not worried about the immigrants. Real talk, I'm not. Yeah, it bothers me with certain things, but I'm not worried about the immigrants at all. What I'm worried about are the people that came across the border that actually mean harm. Like I'm talking like a different level of harm, like blowing stuff up and messing with our power and messing up our water. Those are the people that I'm talking about. That's them is the only ones that's like a real issue because they have people that came over here for that. I remember I remember a long time ago, and this is when Biden was still president. There was a video of I think it was like 11 of them. It was like 11 Chinese dudes in full army fatigues with vests on and all that running across the border. Where were you guys going? And then America sold so much land to China, like hundreds of thousands of acres to China. Why are we selling American land to a foreign country? That makes no sense. It's I don't know, man. It's a lot of weird stuff going on. And I be trying to tell people to get their guns right and their ammo right because I mean again, there's gonna be a point where you're not gonna be able to have a box of bullets or whatever the case is. You can't go and have magazines or whatever the case. There's gonna be something that you can't get. Like It's bound to happen, and as hard as they've been pushing on guns for as long as they have, once Trump gets out, I know they're gonna get somebody on the left, or it's gonna be somebody on the right that is going to end up being something else. I don't yeah I don't feel good about it because I mean if it was me, I would act as a lefty and say, yeah, I'm gonna give you guys all the free stuff and blah blah blah. And we can do this and do that. I would lie to America something so tough, and then yeah, once I'm president, yeah, man, I'm hard right. I'm all the way right. I'm real right. And then what they gonna do is be pissed off. Okay, well, hey, we got another four. You know what I'm saying? I mean that that'd be some beautiful business. But nah, man, we gonna have some left foolery, and I mean shit. Yeah, there's no telling what's gonna happen because like my state of mind when it came to firearms is well one, all my guns are a common caliber, all of them. I got one oddball, but I mean not really. So all my guns are common calibers. So if I run out of bullets, most likely I'll be able to keep my gun or put it somewhere and find those rounds somewhere at some point. Two, they're all common guns. Like the actual gun is common. So if my gun were to break or I need a part or something broke, I'd be able to most likely find another gun and take parts off of it and make whatever. And three, all my guns, everybody in my family would be able to shoot one at least, even down to the kids, to the old people. Legit, everybody would be able to shoot something, because I believe in that. Now, if you don't have training, you are not gonna have one. I don't care. Nope. There's no nope. There's no bending on that. If you don't have training, I am not gonna give you one. Now, my daughter, I wouldn't let her just carry one. But if I told you to stay here and don't move and take this, yes, I would do that. I would trust that 100%. 100%. Now just let her walk around with it. Yeah, yeah, no. But that's also me not comfortable because I don't feel like she has enough training. Now, do I think she be like dinking around with it? No. But and then too, like that's another thing when it comes to like people with guns. There's a lot of people now that have guns that will not use a gun, and that's kind of I think that's the scary part is all in Oregon when 114 happened, the wait list to get a gun was like so high. So all that meant was just a lot of people went out and bought guns. Like I forgot what the number was. The number was fucking crazy. I think it was at like 6,000 one time, and I'm like, what? Uh, but yeah, the guys ended up being able to bump me up because I had a concealed weapons permit, and they didn't put it in at first, and I was like, no, no, man, I got me a concealed. Fix that. And then I went to 600, but still, I mean, 6,600. That's still crazy. I had to wait like I think it was like a week and a half. Bullshit. But you got all these people that have guns and one don't have the training, because a lot of people don't train with their firearms, which is different. But because what's the point of you having it? Why do you have it and you don't you don't even know what the reaction would be after you shot it? You have to train with your gun, period. And then I think a lot of people think that just because you have a gun that will stop the threat. It doesn't work like that. Because if you have a person that has nothing to lose, or they're not in their right state of mind, or they're desperate, that's not gonna, you just having a gun isn't gonna do nothing. There's a part in Rango, well, there's a couple parts where this the snake was talking to Rango and basically called his bluff. It was like, basically, you ain't gonna bust it. You ain't gonna bust that gun. And then at the end of the movie, Rango is drawing down on him, and he's the snake says something smart, and then Rango just was looking at him, and Rango didn't say nothing. And the snake was like, "Oh yeah, you got that killer in your eye." Yeah, nah, everybody ain't got that. I don't think everybody's. Praise the Lord, everybody's not like that, because that's a you got to be something kind of different to do that. But it's gonna be a lot of hard times with people that don't have understanding, because like, if you're not gonna use the gun, it's better that you don't have it, because if you ain't gonna use it, you ain't gonna use it, and then you can have it taken. Nah, you know. Now me, if somebody draws a gun on me, I'm, hey, you got that. You got it. I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping, because there's also scary people. But all scary people won't kill you though. But there are some that are fidgety and will have their finger on the trigger and all that. No, no, because I got my one of my Glocks is very, very light, very light, and yeah, you can't keep your finger on the trigger. Like, a lot of people do that. And if you got a revolver, yeah, yeah, you kind of can. But I mean, nah, I wouldn't do it. Not with my Glock. So you shoot somebody. Uh, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just a weird. It's a very weird time that we're looking at, living in, all the all the stuff. What I think the world needs to do is seek the Lord. That's what it is. The world needs to seek God. Well, I know America does, because he says it. I can't remember where it's at. He get better with that. But he says, "You seek me, and I'll heal the land." Paraphrasing, because it's not just that. He says more, but I'm probably not even saying it right. But the gist is, if you seek me and repent, I will heal the land. Well, I mean, he's done it for me personally, and you know, God has given me everything. You know, I try to stay not prideful, because just like I have everything right now, it can all be gone, and then what? It's gonna be lean on me, son. Oh, I don't want, I don't want to go to that. So let me just keep doing my little, my little 1 2. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what who I was talking to. Oh no, I was listening to my pastor talk for on Sunday for the sermon. And he was talking about sorry, he was talking about like you can't tell your plans to everybody, but you have to tell your plans to somebody. And I think the reason why you have to tell your plans to somebody is so they can see what God is doing and what God has done. And I've been just thinking about it since then. And, you know, at first it wasn't really anybody. I was getting off drugs and doing, doing that. And I moved in with my aunt, and it was still kind of whatever. And then, like, I got my apartment, and then I was living in my apartment and getting closer with God like that. But I mean, at that point, I was kind of still alone, and my mom was still drinking, and I started working with my dad, and I would talk to my dad a lot, a lot about God, and I would tell him my plans and like the things that I was thinking and all the all this stuff, and he was the one that really had an ear for what I had what I had my eyes set on, and kind of actually throughout the whole thing, he really has been my dad, and yeah, just praying for my mom to get sober, and then she got sober, and that's a crazy thing, is once I was able to build a relationship with my mom, that kind of like healed that missing part, like in myself, where I was like wanting to have a relationship with her because it was like so far gone. I didn't think I was gonna have a relationship with her, but I mean, even after that, like my dad still like knew all my plans and everything that I was planning on doing, because I mean, shit, I didn't have nobody. I mean, besides God like telling me like what to do, like I didn't have a human, like I didn't have a like an actual person to tell these things to. And even when I did, even when I did have people to talk to about my plans, the only people that really heard like what I was talking about was pretty much like my little brothers, my little cousins, and I don't know how they really feel about it. I know they see the change. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think they fully understand it, and it's hard to explain it, because I be wanting people to be like, man, just seek God, because I be wanting people to understand that. And it's not even the way you're living life is wrong, but there's so much more to life that God can give you, and it's hard for people to understand that when they don't have a relationship with God. And it's really not hard. Like, my prayers used to suck. They used to suck, like horrible, horrible, horrible. But it didn't matter, because I was building that relationship with him. It didn't matter. Your prayer, and that's the thing too, is they don't have to sound good. Like, I had to really like train my brain to, because I mean, even now my prayers don't sound like how they should. If you are talking to God, he knows what you mean, and it doesn't matter. Like that's y'all's relationship because I'm truly not that good at explaining my feelings and how I feel about things. I don't. Now, do I let that uh, get in the way of like trying? No. I'm gonna still try. Might take me a minute to like register my emotions because that's another thing too. Is I try to be very mindful of the things that I say because I know the things that I say can damage somebody else. That's not what I want. That's why I tread very carefully with the things that I say to people because every word does matter, and I don't want to be I don't want to be a bad example or looked at as a person that is not what's the words, not genuine, not genuine, or you know like a Pharisee or something along those lines. I want to I just want to be a silent leader because you can't you can only go so far. A lot of people want the look and the notoriety of being a leader and being the boss and all those things. I'm fine with being a silent leader because no matter what, somebody can be the boss and the lead, but if they're the lead and they get all the oh well, you need to do this and you need to get this done and da 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 da. If they got to do all that and I have the I have the crew or I have the group or if I have the squad or the family, that's all that matters. As long as I have my control, or not even control, but as long as I have my leadership and it's going as planned, that's all that matters to me. Oh shit, phone's dying. Y'all have a good night. Praise the Lord. I'm just rambling. Melatonin's kicking in. Praise the Most High.